Well, a very good day to you. Welcome to today's episode of The Big Question. I am a host here, Simon Irungu, being joined in by our resident guest, Professor Herman Manyora. How are you doing, sir?
Wonderful. I can see you are in a celebratory mood after winning the election.
I'm actually celebrating maybe... Okay, I'm a journalist. I'm not going to mention why I'm celebrating.
Okay,
yeah, perhaps we...
Journalists do have sides and feelings and
but
choices.
We don't show because of the audience.
Okay.
Now, the question for today is on SAKAJA, Prof. He's going to be sworn in on the 25th of August.
Tomorrow.
Now, the question is, it's actually tomorrow.
Yes.
Now, the question most of the people are asking, will SAKAJA be able to deliver Nairobi? Or is he the right person for this job? Because
there are two ways of looking at it. First of all, I've said, for the first time, Nairobi had a very good choice between two young people, capable, Igade and SAKAJA. So one of them was, namely SAKAJA. Now, in assessing whether he can deliver or not, you have to look at it in two ways. The first way is what a normal governor can do in a normal way, under normal circumstances. Then SAKAJA will deliver.
Okay.
He has no problem delivering. He will make Nairobi a better place than it is today.
Okay.
I have no doubt about that. But the other way of looking at it is, can a governor actually deliver to Nairobians? The answer is no.
What do you mean by that?
First, the constitutional blunder of making Nairobi a county. Nairobi cannot be a county. The same with Siaya and the Lamu and the Mandera and the Vihiga. No.
Okay, then
It's supposed to be administered in a special way.
Okay.
Not under the ambit of devolution as a county. Number one. Number two, and perhaps because of that, the interests in Nairobi, the cartels in Nairobi, a governor cannot handle them.
We're also going to have that conversation as we move
Yes.
on. Okay, now someone might want to understand, perhaps a Polycarp Igathe supporter will want to understand where did Polycarp Igathe miss it? Because it was a tight race.
He didn't miss it. SAKAJA was not supposed to win the race.
What do you mean?
Igathe lost it. Igathe lost it. This was Igathe's election. First, he was a poor campaigner. Circumstances favored him. But
who was the poor campaigner?
If you are to pick the one thing that made him lose, is Raila did not come out the way he was supposed to have come out.
But also see SAKAJA, he didn't put much effort in his
SAKAJA
campaign.
tried. SAKAJA was on everybody's lips. We said it many times here.
No,
we said
Polycarp Igathe
SAKAJA was on everybody's lips. He had managed to cut an image of the really campaign or the really governor. People across political divide were saying, no, me, I'm Azimio, but me, I'll vote for SAKAJA. And I knew that was not going to make him governor. Because all Raila needed to do is to rally his troops. But as you can see, Raila didn't do enough for Nairobi, even for himself. Reasons I don't understand. Even for himself, he didn't do enough. Many people in Nairobi didn't turn out to vote. And those who voted for Azimio, a good number still voted for SAKAJA. Raila didn't come out the way I thought he would come out to speak for Igathe. And you can't blame Raila because Igathe himself didn't seem to be ready to be assisted. I didn't see the passion in him, apart from the gimmicks and the drama of washing cars and serving food.
I was actually going to ask you on that. Okay, now, Prof, let's look at the history of Nairobi. Let's look at someone like Kidero. He was never re-elected.
Yes.
Looking at someone like Mike Sonko, he was impeached. Now, the question is, why is it so difficult to maintain power in Nairobi?
Nairobi is a special place. Nairobi iko na wenyewe. Ask Commander. Maina Commander will tell you Nairobi iko na wenyewe. This is a difficult city.
What do you mean, but iko na wenyewe?
In fact, managing
Nairobi
is more difficult than managing Kenya. Because they are vested interest in this city. Vested interest. The politics of Nairobi is not easy. Actually, why people are having it easy, Kidero, Sonko, SAKAJA, why they're having it easy is a modern coalition politics.
Okay.
Where now we have strong coalitions. And therefore you ride on the wave of Jubilee. You ride on the wave of NASA, the wave of Azimio, Kenya Kwanza. But if we go back before those days, 2007 backwards, where it was perhaps initially one party state, KANU. Hey, even to be a councillor in Nairobi was not a joke. A councillor. It was not a joke. And even after KANU got competition after the repeal of Section 2A, the parties themselves were not strong enough to sponsor you if there was a governor position for you to get.
Okay.
So if there had been a governor position before we began this coalition politics, hey, my friend, winning would have been very difficult. It would have brought very surprising results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's have these conversations of cartel. We cannot have a talk on Nairobi politics and fail to mention something to do with cartels.
Yes.
Now, someone might want to understand, who are these cartels?
Cartels are just cartels. Kwa Kiswahili wanaita wakiritimba. These are people with vested interests wanting to control different sectors. For example, water has its own cartels. They reap from water supply. You see these bowsers moving up and down. There are more bowsers in Nairobi than perhaps matatus. Now, what does it mean? It means if you want to streamline water supply in Nairobi, you will have to reckon with those people.
Okay.
They will frustrate all your efforts, including physical sabotage of pipes.
Okay.
So that's how they work. Garbage collection. If you want to bring good trucks to carry garbage to make it easy, the people who earn from garbage, even toilets in Nairobi. So there are people in every sector who thrive in the confusion and they control that sector. And when you try to move them, let me give you a dramatic example where there was a shootout at the Dandora dump site. Even at the dump site, Mali kutupa takataka huko. There are cartels there. Try to change it, they can even come for you. So cartels in Nairobi, and they are almost across the world. Okay. They are powerful individuals whose business interests come second to none. They must control the sector and make all the money there is. And they will not allow you to change things to edge them out. Okay. If you come up with new policies, that will mean once the policies are effectively implemented, they cannot be controlling that sector. They'll find a way of dealing with you and sabotaging the policies. Okay, now, what makes the cartels, I must point out, very difficult, is that they seem to enjoy political coverage. Okay. Some of the things they do, they cannot do unless they have the backing of people up there. So now you are dealing with a person who can make a phone call up, and everything you are done, you are told stop. As a governor, you are useless.
Now, this is SAKAJA saying that he's going to deal with this cartel in a way that they have not been dealt with before now, Prof. How difficult is it going to be for SAKAJA to
deal with
these
what it takes.
Cartels?
He can't.
How? He is the governor.
I talked one day, let me give you a true life story. I used to drink sometimes back. I was having a drink with a policeman, a senior policeman who had worked in Mombasa.
What do you mean a drink? Soda? Milk?
Whichever drink.
Okay.
With a policeman who had worked in Mombasa for a number of years. He had come back to Nairobi. And he was very rich. So we were laughing. But on the same table, there was somebody, a judge, who collaborated this story. He was saying, when you go to Mombasa, for example, as a judge, anybody can hear this. Judges can argue with me if they want. Or a senior police officer. You are welcomed by cartels. In those days, there were drug cartels. There are Kashas and the rest. They will welcome you and even do a lot for you. But the message they are sending to you is, dare you play with them, you'll get into problems. You see what I'm trying to say? Okay. So these cartels are not simple people to deal with. First of all, they know your weakness. They always know your weakness. And what makes it very difficult for any of these people to deal with cartels and these other thieves is they themselves, they are not very clean. They know how you have made your money.
The politicians now?
No. The people who, if you became governor of Nairobi or something like that, and you want, or a minister, they know your weaknesses. If you are poor, they know you are poor. If you are struggling, they know you are struggling. If your children are going to cheap public schools, they know. They know you are vulnerable. If you have something but you also stole, they know. So you can't play with them. They are not just people you can, and they go away. No, they also have things on you. So I'm not saying they have anything on Sakaja. But when I look at Nairobi, as I know it, then I look at Sakaja, as I know him, I don't think he can deal with the cartels. Nobody can deal with the cartels. The only way to deal with the cartels is to change the constitution and put Nairobi under different structure of management.
Okay.
So that it's not an ordinary county. We can do it alongside what happens in America, Australia, and elsewhere. My suggestion for Nairobi is, first of all, we need to divide Nairobi into what the English call the boroughs. Maybe the old 8 divisions. There were 8 constituencies. Westlands, there was Westlands, Tare, Langata, Makadara, Embakasi, Kasarani. There were 8.
Yeah.
You turn them into administrative units with sufficient powers to handle certain things, including collection of taxes and revenue. You see? Then you have a top there. Whether at the top there will be a governor or a mayor or whatever. See? Then in all that, you need to define clearly what the role of the national government is. Very clearly. You see? That way, you are putting people into office who have the structures within which they can operate.
Okay.
And deal with the cartels.
Okay.
You see? So that the people then who run these boroughs will be volunteers. A person who is a businessman or a teacher, like me, we want 8 people to run Langata borough, whatever, sub-county, whatever you call it. Okay? And then people volunteer, they go there, they serve for 2 years, 1 year, they are not paid anything, they have something to offer. Those kind of people, you can't bribe them. In Nairobi, we used to have people of that nature running the city. And Nairobi was a good city. They were not paid, they were not councillors. And in any case, councillors were never paid until 1979. They were just people who are teachers, who are businessmen. You only go for council meetings, you only draw an allowance. There were no salaries. Until Moi said, chagua moja. Ukiwa mwalimu, ukitaka kuwa councillor, wacha walimu. That was 1979, around there. Because Moi didn't understand the whole concept. You are not getting people to employ to pay a salary. Because then once you have a job that has a salary and allowances and other perks, then you get all these idiots running for it. But if a job has no salary, if we say today even in our parliament, hakuna mshahara parliament, kuna ka allowance tu, kidogo. All these crooks in parliament will not go there. No. But people will be there who want to serve the country, not go for money. Service to the country. So that's how Nairobi ought to be run. By people who want to serve and not employees with salaries and perks. No. Divided into those 8 boroughs or sub-counties with a strong mayor or a governor or whatever it is, or both mayor and governor. There's a possibility of all those things. With a clear role that the national government has in the management of Nairobi. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That way, when you are making decisions, you don't care what the State House is thinking. But so long as the government is still where it is and Nairobi County is where it is, then before you know what is happening, bad is there. So if Sakaja thinks he'll sign another bad deal, oh, I'm telling you, sikudanganye.
Tajipata kwa mtego.
See, bad we can even extend. Me, I will vote for bad to go on, to extend. And you'll be asked, what good reason do you have not to extend the bad deal? Look at what Badi has done. Alisema atamtoa the first day tarehe 10. Acha tuone. Unless Ruto wins. If Ruto wins, they may not extend Badi's deal. Not because Bad has not done, Bad has not done a good job, but because of politics. And then Sakaja will go in and realize it was not as easy as he thought. Because these cartels are so powerful. So long as they enjoy state patronage, you cannot deal with them.
Okay. Now with the case ongoing on election petitioning of the presidential results, Prof, running Nairobi, now Johnson Sakaja, does he rely really hard on the outcome of that decision by the court?
It's important for him. Because if Ruto wins, then Sakaja has a partner who will give him a free hand to run the city. And so long as that partner does not embrace the cartels. The problem with the kind of politics we do in this country is that for you to win president, there are so many people supporting you, financially and otherwise.
So you have to protect the interest.
Yes. And it's a global problem. You can't handle it in Nairobi or Kenya. It's a global problem. The people supporting you expect payback.
Okay.
And that's why BBI was a better deal to lessen those kind of things, where you rely less on tribe, less on these merchants, political merchants. You know, you have an arrangement where you have Kenya facing Kenya, less tribal need, you know. So for as long as the politics we have is the politics we have, where Ruto will have gone to State House, cut us of support of these rich Kikuyus and the rest of these people, he will have to pay back. And that's why when you want to finya them kidogo, wanamuita lakini Sakaja, kwani ana huyu kijana, hebu ongea na hii kijana hii. Ongea na huyu kijana. Unapata simu, go slow kidogo.
Nyeshewa kidogo.
Go slow kidogo na ni watu wetu. So you see, when Uhuru put down his foot and he said, all this counterfeit you are bringing and we expect taxes, we shall not accept. Hizo containers rudi mali zimetoka. You see how much he lost support of his people. The brokers who are bringing these counterfeit products, that there was things they were not paying taxes for, they were part of they are part of the people that Ruto has used to poison the Kikuyu against. It's not easy, because if you try, there is a price to pay. Because Uhuru said, don't bring in containers and you're not paying taxes, number one. You have to pay taxes. He even helped them how to do it. You come together, bring containers in groups, but pay taxes. Number two, don't bring counterfeits. Bring good products into the country. He lost his following. You think it was the ordinary Kikuyu who was losing? No, it was the rich Kikuyus who were benefiting from that trade, who now saw Uhuru was working against their interests, and yet they had put him in office to deal with their interests. So Ruto was able to use people like those to poison the Kikuyu community against Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay.
So even Sakaja, you try, and Ruto may not give you the backing you need, because to do so means you are kissing 2027 goodbye.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up the conversation, clearly what I'm reading from what you're saying is that there is always this tie between cartels and government officials, Prof. Now, is it impossible to get rid of these cartels and still prosper in terms of politics?
It's not very easy. It's not very easy. It's difficult. You need people of conviction, of a higher calling, people who are willing to lose an election, people who are willing to lose their lives, tried and tested like Mother Karua and Raila Odinga, who have put their lives on the line. Someone like Raila says, Mao is life for the Maasai people and Kenyans. I'm willing to lose an election because of Mao. Okay? We must remove dictatorship in the country. We must make this a country of plenty, as it is said in our constitution. Now, people like those have what it takes to risk, because sometimes even your life. But just anybody, you think you can face cartels. They are powerful individuals. They are extremely powerful. You'll find them in New York, find them in you'll find them in they are everywhere. They only change the form and the modus operandi, but they are there.
And how they operate.
And how they operate. Some people have succeeded to deal with them, sometimes in a very crude way. But the conviction to deal with cartels cannot be found in just about any politician. How many people are willing to put down their lives? How many people would enter into a game they know their life could go anytime? their life could go anytime. There are very few people. Those kind of people are not many in society. And those again people can deal with cartels. They are not very many. Ordinary people like us, we will be cowed. One telephone call and you you are going under the bed. Nambia mama, hii kazi kumbe ni ngumu. Let me finish this. It's in the interest of our listeners, whom we are asking to subscribe, those who haven't subscribed. There was a minister called Joshua Ngatia. I think he died, God rest his soul, from Malaba constituency. He was made minister in charge of health. After some time, he said, no. This ministry, you can't manage it. He said that. No, this ministry, you can't change it. There are too many cartels here, you can't. No, he owned up. He said, you can't manage the Ministry of Health. It is run by cartels, and they are too powerful. People thought he was joking. Me understood him, because it is true. Even your life is in danger. Don't think you can deal with the cartels very easily. These are strong men and women.
Well, such an interesting conversation. I'd love to continue talking about this cartel, but because of time, we'll have to wrap up the conversation at that. Well, till you have this conversation again, and before you go, make sure to subscribe. Currently at 103,000 subscribers, still growing, so people still joining us. Keep in contact with us through the comment section, and you can also join the family. There is a join button there, and you just follow the instructions, and you're just going to be guided on how you're going to be joining the family. Well, till you have the next episode of The Big Question, enjoy the rest of your day.